The story begins with a rebellious-looking boy named Tanaka and a shy girl wearing glasses named Suzuki. It is a classic tale of opposites attracting. Yet beneath the surface, things are more complex. Suzuki was not truly shy. She was a confident, assertive young woman who knew exactly what she wanted. And that desire was to have Tanaka as her pet. With a gentle push, he found himself under her sway, initiating a secret relationship. Their encounter was both ordinary and sudden. Tanaka was chatting with a friend, unaware that Suzuki, silent and observant, was passing nearby. The moment their eyes met, everything changed. Tanaka blushed instantly, caught off guard, while Suzuki looked at him with a serious, self-assured gaze. The brief interaction ended swiftly as she walked past, leaving him nervous and bewildered. His friend asked if he was all right, but Tanaka had no clear answer. That night, he lay awake, replaying the encounter, while Suzuki also stayed awake, excited as if she had received a special gift, imagining her new pet. Suzuki began to treat Tanaka with firm yet playful commands, questioning why he couldn't resist her influence. When she praised him by calling him a good boy, he was further captivated by her control. In public, Suzuki acted as if she were shy and fragile, prompting sympathy from others, especially when Tanaka pretended to tease her. Yet, in private, he obeyed her completely, even apologizing for any perceived transgressions. During a walk, Suzuki asked if he pierced his own ears. Surprised, Tanaka hesitated, unable to answer as she pressed further. Unexpectedly, she confessed she also wanted to get a piercing. Tanaka thought she meant for herself, but she clarified she wanted to pierce him instead. Seeing her small pin, he realized she was serious. Lying with his head in her lap, he wondered how he had ended up in such a situation. Suzuki explained which part she intended to pierce, and anxiety crept over him. Noticing his trembling, she asked if he was scared. Despite denying it, he couldn't hide his fear, and Suzuki whispered that his nervous expression was adorable. Without warning, she proceeded to pierce his ear. The next day, Tanaka's friends noticed his new earring and asked about it. He blushed, recalling what had happened, and his friends grew concerned about his exaggerated reaction. As they walked through the halls, some students saw Tanaka with Suzuki and assumed that he was bothering her, spreading false rumors. In reality, Tanaka was just scolding her for calling him unnecessarily, but Suzuki quickly cut him off, grabbing his chin and threatening to show an embarrassing video of him unless he obeyed her commands. Tanaka repeatedly surrendered once more, succumbing to her influence amid numerous instances where he found himself obeying her commands. Desperate to break free from her control, he tried to make her stop treating him like a pet. Suzuki simply regarded him with a piercing stare, causing him to retreat and ultimately prompt an apology from himself. She complimented him as a good boy, emphasizing that he constantly fell under her sway. Later, as a group of boys talked about their classmates, one mentioned that, based on his research, Suzuki was the most attractive girl. The others agreed she was beautiful and had charm, but their attention shifted when they noticed Tanero acting strangely. Suddenly, he forbade them from giving her that kind of look. His friends were taken aback by his reaction, and one speculated that perhaps Tanaka was claiming Suzuki as his own girl, a notion Tanaka swiftly denied. Yet, unwittingly, he blurted out something perplexing, that Suzuki was his mistress. Even he was surprised to have spoken such words. Later, alone, Tanaka couldn't stop recalling all the times Suzuki had called him adorable, which made him feel increasingly ensnared by her influence. He remembered their initial conversations, when he was more rebellious and resistant. Suzuki, however, was persistent and seemed to enjoy his stubbornness. Now, he didn't resist at all. In fact, he appeared to crave her attention with just a glance. Suzuki understood this all too well and teasingly asked why her little dog was becoming so demanding. Despite his attempts to deny it, Suzuki silently watched him struggle to justify himself. His childhood friend, Maru, observed that Tanaka was acting strangely, avoiding social plans and behaving suspiciously. Deciding to uncover what was happening, she discreetly followed him. She saw Tanaka enter an empty room, and to get the truth, peered through a door crack. From her vantage point, Maru clearly spotted Tanaka with Suzuki, caught off guard by her presence. She then witnessed him totally dominated by her, revealing a side of him she had never imagined. Seeing this altered her perception deeply. It shattered her previous notions and awakened new ones. Now, let us turn to Taniguchi, the student council president renowned for her elegance. Often called the princess of the school, as many girls swooned at her grace. She was worried about Suzuki, the girl with glasses, after hearing rumors of her being targeted by delinquents. Lost in her thoughts, she noticed Tanaka and Suzuki together and decided to hide and observe. She was convinced she would witness a typical case of harassment and planned to intervene. Peeking quietly, she overheard Suzuki asking if Tanaka had removed the pink earring she had given him. He replied coldly, but she insisted it was important because it was her mark of ownership. With a serious expression, she made it clear that this earring symbolized that Tanaka was her pet. Feeling defeated, Tanaka admitted he would wear the necklace again, prompting Suzuki to call him a good boy once more. The student council president, who had been observing silently, was utterly astonished by Suzuki's influence over Tana. Sensing an awakening within herself she couldn't quite understand. Suzuki addressed Tanaka by his full name, Masami Tanaka, which caught him off guard. He protested, saying he hated that name because it sounded too gentle for him. Nevertheless, Suzuki declared she would now call him Masami, disregarding his objections. Frustrated, Tanaka's cheeks flushed as Suzuki fondly noted her find that his embarrassed expression was adorable, and that Masami-chan also sounded nice. A silent challenge formed between them. With a determined voice, Suzuki told him he must use her name, insisting, "Not you, I mean me." Shy and a bit stubborn, Tanaka ultimately resorted to calling her by her surname. Without hesitation, Suzuki reached out, gently grabbed his face, and looked into his eyes, demanding he not only use her name but do so while meeting her gaze. Unable to refuse, Tanaka finally said, "Fyoko." Overjoyed, Suzuki proclaimed once more that he was a good boy. That evening, his sister Naomi asked why he was so happy. Suzuki, more expressive than usual, excitedly explained that the little dog she had been training had finally spoken her name. Naomi, puzzled, asked which dog she meant. Later at school, a different group of troublemakers approached Suzuki, mocking her and asking why Tanaka spent time with her. They teased about what might happen if Tanaka overheard. Just then, Suzuki pointed behind them, announcing that Tanaka was nearby. Swiftly, Tanaka intervened, fiercely protecting Suzuki and knocking the troublemakers out of commission. Calmly, Suzuki reassured him it was enough and praised him for being a good boy, which brought Tanaka back to his senses. The student council president appeared, greeting everyone as other girls looked on admiringly. She reflected on her own talents and felt proud, yet confused. Watching Suzuki's confident way of handling Tanaka, she couldn't shake the image from her mind, leaving her totally perplexed. Suddenly, the teacher called her, snapping her out of her daydream. She wondered why she was having such strange thoughts about her classmate. Maru and Tanaka had been childhood friends. Maru always considered Tanaka his best friend. But ever since witnessing Tanaka being dominated by Suzuki, something within him had stirred. The expression Tanaka showed in that moment replayed constantly in his thoughts. Tanaka, noticing Maru staring at him, asked why he was looking at him oddly, causing Maru to panic, feeling unworthy of their friendship. This left Tanaka utterly confused. As they spent time together, Suzuki glanced at her phone and murmured, "7." Tanaka was surprised to see her using her phone instead of reading a book. He immediately asked what she was doing. She explained she was simply browsing photos of dogs she had saved. Unbeknownst to him, one of those pictures featured him as the adorable pup. Trying to make him jealous, Suzuki commented that the dog looked very cute. This irritated Tanaka, who demanded to know why she called the dog adorable when he had claimed he was the most handsome. Noticing Tanaka's mounting jealousy, Suzuki showed him the photo. Upon seeing it, Tanaka froze in shock. It was him. He insisted she delete the picture, but Suzuki refused, teasing that it was charming how jealous he was of his own photo. She then asked if Tanaka had always been so temperamental, and he reacted exactly as she had anticipated. With a mischievous grin, she delivered the classic line that was meant to provoke him, because she knew he liked it. Tanaka fell right into her trap, cheeks flushing red as he called her a fool. In an empty living room, Suzuki watched Tanaka, who was scanning through pictures capturing some of his most embarrassing expressions. Tired of being observed in such a way, Tanaka asked what he was looking at. Amused, Suzuki thought to herself that only she truly knew that adorable side of him, and she would never share it. Walking down the corridor, Suzuki overheard rumors about her. She was mysterious, never smiled, even that she was harassed by troublemakers. If only those stories were true. With a small smile, she approached Tanaka and called his name. Hearing her voice when they were alone, he immediately blushed. His cheeks turned even redder when she complimented the pink earring she had pinned on him. Pleased, Suzuki mused that only she knew that vulnerable side of him and that she would keep it to herself forever.